I'd say the honors program is a way for me to not only explore more in my study, but also make connections with alumni and get well acquainted with people in my career.
Yeah, I approach it more towards the community aspect. A lot of my friends are in the honors program, and I like the opportunities that it gives us to get out in the community, both at Newman and off campus.
The honors program for me is an opportunity to grow, not only in my career of study, but also grow in the relationships I form with people, grow in the skills I acquire, and then just be able to apply those to my field of study.
A lot of people think that the honors program is really just for the best and the brightest. Not only is that not true, but it's also a great way to prove to yourself that you're capable of so much more. And it is amazing how much you can do once you become part of the program.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our, I think this is the third, maybe, virtual honors info session of the year. If you're here, it's likely because you're interested in honors or because you've already been admitted into the honors program. Tonight, we have some people that I'd like you to meet that are going to help us learn more. We have here tonight, there we go, our honors program director, Dr. Kelly McFall, as well as one of our current honors students, Joe Davis. But I will let Dr. McFall introduce himself and tell you a little bit more about the honors program before we launch into Q&A. Just as a reminder, the chat is open. If you would like to ask questions, you may just type them in the chat. Your questions will come to me and me only, and I will ask them on your behalf at the end of our info session. We also have some questions that were submitted in advance on your RSVP form, so I will work through those as well. But again, here's Dr. Kelly McFall.
Hi, everybody. Wonderful to get a chance to chat with you tonight. I'm excited about sharing what we do here with you and hearing about your questions. And so let's begin. This is the mission, and this is taken from the website. I want to summarize it really quickly. We want you to find a family where you can flourish while you are at Newman. We want you to graduate ready to succeed in a career that you're going to love, or to move toward that by going to professional or graduate school. And we want you to change the world, right? We want you to leave the world a little better than we found it. So we do that in a number of ways. And the first, as you might expect, is our classes. And so this slide is from the second day, actually, of the Freshman Honors Seminar, a class that all incoming freshmen take together. And it's here because they are busy playing a game. They are imagining themselves into ancient Athens with the Spartan army at the door, and they are debating whether they should surrender or to preserve their army or their honor, even if at the risk of dying. And that slide is here, as is the next one. And the next one is a slide about senior thesis research, because that's how you end your time in honors. You end it with a 2-semester research project where you work one-on-one with a faculty to, by the time you're done, you should know something nobody else in the world knows. And what's in common with these two slides is what's the essentials of honors education at Newman, which is that it is hands-on and engaging and participatory. Won't say you'll never get lectured, but I will say that the best education happens when you are involved, right? And so that happens in those 2 dedicated classes, but it might happen off campus, right? And so these are images of a Europe by Rails trip. And so on the left, that is a slide of people at the Berliner Dome, the church in Berlin. In the middle, that is an image of us at the Globe Theater, the reconstructed theater where Shakespeare did his play. And on the right-hand side of the image, that is us taking a canal tour of Copenhagen. That is perhaps even more engaging than is usual, but it is the principle, right? That your education will be one in which you are participating and engaging and working with each other in a hands-on way, whether that's through travel or an internship or in a laboratory or by playing a game or by sitting around in a circle and talking about a book or something, a movie or something that you saw. people go through this in different ways, right? Those bookend experiences are all the same, but in the middle, you're doing something that's specifically tailored to you. So if you're a biology major, you're going to start with a freshman honors seminar, but you may end up in a general chemistry honors lab section. You may end up in a section of interpersonal communication, since as a doctor or a nurse or a PA, one of your most important jobs will be helping to make sure your patient understands what's going on and what the appropriate course of treatment is. You may be in a case studies and microbiology class or other science classes, right? You may be in bioethics. That looks very different if you're an elementary or secondary education major, where you start the same place, right? The freshman honors seminar, you end the same place in the senior thesis, but in the middle, you may be taking class on Intro to New Testament or something, an honors section of Foundation and Philosophy of Education, or an honors option, I can talk about those later if you have questions, of Exceptional Child, right? And the principle here is that we work together to identify a path through the honors program that is going to allow you to select the classes and experiences that is right for you, that will help you meet your goals at Newman, that is going to give you a richer, deeper experience in the classroom, that's going to help you meet your goals. But of course, you don't just learn in the classroom, right? And so I talked about us being a family. We take that seriously. We want you to be with a group of people who you trust, who you know. We want you to belong, right? And so one way we do this is we put you in houses. And so these are the 4 houses that we have. And that is meant to make sure that you don't just meet freshmen, that you meet people across freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and you have friends and you can ask questions and eventually you can give advice, right? Some of the things we do together are inspired by the idea that we want honor students to be curious about the world, right? What is the same about all honor students is they are excited about their education and they're excited about learning about the world. So on the left, that's Kay Monk Morgan, who is the head of the Kansas Leadership Center here in Wichita. And she came to talk to our students about leadership and how you can be a leader as an undergraduate and how you can use that leadership skill and training to make a difference as a college student. But on the right, that's a way of exploring something that's not a traditional classroom subject, but is part of our world. And that's about taste, right? And so this is a coffee tasting. And this is Monica, who's here to talk to our students in the middle of a Saturday morning about how to pair chocolate and coffees and how to taste coffees and how to think about how coffees raised in Guatemala and Rwanda and Colombia and Kenya might be different, and what's the best fit for you, right? And so those are a couple good examples, but we also want to create a family, right? And so we play together too. So this is a meme contest. And obviously you can see that's Good Vibes. That's one of our houses. These are some other examples of memes. Most of them seem to feature me, for better or worse. I'm always entertained by the memes. And so these are examples of a wide variety of things we do. Joe, one of his jobs is to plan these events and to help carry them out. And so we do all kinds of things that involve getting together and getting to know each other and becoming comfortable with each other. And then we want to send you out to share your experiences in a way that's going to help other people, but also going to benefit you. So on the right, that's Gabby Altenor. This is a while back. She's now a lawyer in town, but she went with myself and my assistant director to New Orleans to the National Honors Conference, where she learned about how to increase the variety of people and experiences and backgrounds we had on our honors program in Newman, and share a little bit about what we do. On the left, that's Haley Stewart and Riley Doherty. They're at a games conference in New York, showing people, faculty members from across the country, helping them learn how to play games in their classroom. Next slide, please. Yeah. And then we want you to give back. So these are pictures of our alums, right? And I say a lot. This is not a 4-year program. It's a 40-year program, 4 of which you're here on campus and you're participating in activities, and we see each other in classes, and I'll go watch your games or your plays or your performances. But then 40 years where you're still part of our family, and we still celebrate together when you get a promotion or you move to a new job or you get married or add a child or whatever it might be. But you also come back and you share your experiences, right? So on the left here, this is the wall, or the start of the wall in the Honors Lounge, a dedicated space for honors students where when you graduate, you write your name, and in whatever way you want to, as a way of showing current students who came before you, and how they help make the program better. And on the right, as you can see, these are some of our graduates. The picture on the bottom is one of our graduating classes. The picture on the top right, that's Elena Garrett, who after she finished here went off to buy rockets for the Air Force, and now works in the State Department. And Pancho Fields, who went on to get his PhD in chemistry and did chemistry in London. So next slide, please, Georgia, and I'm about to wrap up. Yeah, so this is, this is a picture of the class, the first day of class when they arrived here. They are actually the graduating class now. And I want to invite you to see yourself in this picture. What would it be like for you to be in this picture next year? How can you use the honors program to your advantage to help you reach your goals? And in doing so, how can you make Newman a better place for your student friends and colleagues? How can you help add to their experience? How can you help them meet their goals? In a program that's about this size. This is a pretty typical incoming class, right? And I say that because one of the things we want to recognize is that what we can do at a school like Newman is to give you a personalized experience. Everybody goes through the honors program differently. We work really hard to get to know you, and we work really hard to make this the best possible experience for you. So that is my little spiel. But I would like to turn quickly to Joe. And I'll start, Joe, by asking you to introduce yourself and say a little bit about why you decided that honors was right for you when you were looking for a college.
Yeah, so my name is Joe Davis. I'm a junior here at Newman University. Currently, I work as a honors intern within the program. So I'm responsible for a lot of managerial stuff, like tallying points, but most importantly, setting up events for students throughout the semester that they attend. And I'd say the reason that I chose Newman for their honors program was really just that I wanted a community of like-minded individuals. So maybe you're in high school, you have all these academic interests, but that might not necessarily be encouraged as heavily. And is something that I think I found at Newman. You're able to explore these interests of yours, but more importantly, it gives you a lot of opportunities outside of the program as well. So as you saw in the slideshow, you saw the National Honors Conference, which is something that I got the opportunity to attend. And while I was there, I also was able to work as a student moderator. So experts in their fields would give presentations, and I would lead Q&A sessions, help them set up, kind of control their presentations. So that was a more unexpected thing that I kind of found from joining the honors program. But overall, just a fantastic experience so far.
Cool. So tell me about your favorite class experience in honors.
For me, it was definitely the student honors, the seminar class that we took our freshman year. It wasn't a very traditional class, I'd say, and for the better. So we played what was called reacting to past games, which if you do join the program, you will learn plenty about. And one of those games was the French game. And so I think my role in that French game was I was a member of the church, I think a conservative member. And the entire game I was losing. It was going terribly. Nothing was going the church's way. The crowd was beating us up. The other political factions were winning. And then somebody on my side wrote a letter to somebody overseas and won us the game with just one letter. So kind of a crazy turn of events. Kind of just goes to show there's a lot of unexpected things that can happen in that class. But yeah, another great experience.
And so I know both of the people on the call are not from Wichita. Tell us a little bit about how we tell them a little bit about how we try and make people who are not from Wichita feel comfortable in a new place.
Yeah, definitely. So in the past, we've taken sort of mini field trips, if you want to call it that, to communities or I guess areas around Wichita that they might want to see. I think a couple years ago, we went to the Delano district and kind of just walked around, showed them the city. And as a honors intern, we really try to do as many activities kind of out in the city. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is last fall, I believe, we did kind of a museum crawl, an art museum crawl with one of our professors here at Newman. We're able to go to a bunch of local museums for something that's called Final Friday. So the final Friday of every month, a lot of museums will put on a special kind of art show. That was a pretty great way to go out and see Wichita.
And I'm just going to apologize, Amy. I was trying to do three things at once. So one of the people from here is not from Wichita. One last question, Joe, and then we'll open it up to questions. So this is a tip off to Georgia that I'm going to hand over to you in just a minute. What do you see as the difference between honors in high school and honors at Newman?
That's an interesting question. I feel like in high school, unfortunately, with my high school, it was more about just getting the grade. You just wanted the see that on your transcript. Oh, you took this honors class. You might have been involved in National Honor Society where you had to get some volunteer hours, and you kind of left it at that. But here in Newman, we don't really just care about getting the honors on your transcript. You really want to improve your time at Newman, really get the most out of it. And a lot of that's through leadership positions within the program. It's a student-led program, we like to say. And also just connections outside, whether that's alumni from the program or the speakers that we have come into our program to talk.
Cool. So Georgia, I know you've got questions, whether they're the ones that have been given to you or maybe just yours. Go for it.
I have questions. I don't know why this background makes me look so white, but swear I'm not a vampire. We did have some questions submitted in advance, so I'll read them anonymously. You guys can talk about it. You might have already addressed some of them already. How would you, Joe, describe the workload corresponding to the honors program? Do you feel like it's a lot at times? Is it just right?
I guess thinking back on my freshman year, I was more concerned. So I'm a biology major. I don't know if I said that. And the workload back then was just my biology classes, my chemistry classes. But in this is an honest opinion. It's not just because I'm on a Zoom talking about the program. But I really felt like the honors activities were a good way to kind of take a break from those science classes. I found they were more enjoyable than necessarily just more work. Like I was kind of talking about earlier, we want you to kind of get something out of this program, improve yourself. And so that doesn't necessarily mean we're just trying to drown you in coursework. So yes, there is work like any honors program should have, but I'd say it's very enjoyable 99% of the time.
99. Is the other 1% when you have to talk to Dr. McFall?
That's
Surprisingly
like
not. No, it's our meetings are kind of all over the place, but usually because we're being very productive.
So I have a question for you, Joe, based on something you said earlier. Dr. McFall kind of talked about the house system, and I always relate that to like Harry Potter, but you're not actually living with these people. Can you talk about the house system more? And then you also explained like planning events and calculating points. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. So when you join the program at the orientation, you will be sorted into a house, sort of Harry Potter style. We used to have the Harry Potter hat, and that was lost, unfortunately, or somebody left with it. But still, you get sorted into a house. And in that house, we have what's called our house competitions. So we plan these events throughout the semester. I just came from one tonight. It was called a coding club crossover. And so the other intern, Kelly, worked very hard to kind of put on an AI workshop. And so there's a lot of curiosity-based events like that, but there's also fun events. Like we had a cookout for the soccer game. I think last spring we went to a lake and had some yard games, cooked some burgers, things like that. So when you go to those events, you get points, and then we tally those points and you earn them for your house. And then at the end of each year, depending on which house has the most points, you then win the house competition. You get a little trophy. You get a party that you go to. It's a lot of fun.
So those of you that are Harry Potter nerds like me, it's like winning the house cup.
Mhm.
But I don't know if Dr. Kelly McFall comes in and awards like secret surprise points at the end to like have you overtake Slytherin. I don't know.
No comment.
No.
No comment.
We have some other questions. I know we have one student on tonight's call that is nursing. So Dr. McFall, do you want to talk about how we talked a little bit about sciences or what your path might look as an education major, but how might this look different for somebody who's going into nursing?
Sure. Actually, 3 of our graduates this spring will be nursing. And so they can tell you more if you're interested. I'm happy to connect you. But nursing at Newman is a cohort-based system. So everybody who is in the nursing program goes through that experience together. And so you'll go through, generally speaking, in your junior and senior years, although it varies a little bit depending on how many credits you bring in. But once you start the program, you move through in the same way at the same pace as everybody in the program. And so what that means from an honors perspective is that we want you to get more honors coursework done in the first couple years you're here so that you can move through the nursing program with your cohort. And so we would work together to create schedules for your freshman and sophomore year that included enough honors classes that you could be ahead of in terms of credit hours other people at that stage. And then we have identified a couple of experiences in the honors program, in the nursing program that are particularly valuable for nursing students. And so you will get a couple of honors class credits in the nursing program, the senior thesis being one. The other one often coming in prenatal nursing and obstetrics. And so they actually have kind of a cool program where you get to meet new moms and kind of follow them through that experience of being pregnant and giving birth from a nursing perspective. So that's kind of that way. But the essential part is that we work together to craft that first year and a half or 2 years so that you can be successful in the honors program and nursing.
Thank you. We had a question about the GPA. So I can take that one.
Yeah.
We are automatically offering admission and scholarship to the honors program to any first-year student that applies with a self-reported 3.8 GPA or higher. If you have less than a 3.8, you are more than welcome to apply for the honors program, submit a resume. So it's just a smidge more work for us to review and decide if you might be a good fit for the honors program and scholarship. To stay in the program, we recently updated the requirements for year-to-year GPA maintenance, and that's that starting this fall, if you're coming in this fall of 2026, honor students need to maintain at least a 3.0 GPA or higher while they're here taking classes for that to continue renewing as a scholarship and program admission each year. I'm sure there are some small exceptions to that, like if you dip or have a rough semester. That's why you have a secondary advisor in Dr. McFall to help make sure that you're meeting the requirements for honors as well as your major. But I didn't know, Kelly, if you want to talk any more about that.
Yeah, so first of all, I will just say you said the magic word, which we haven't said it yet, which is scholarship. So in a minute, I'll let you talk about that. But all I will say is that we want you to be successful. That's our goal. And if the honors program is right for you, we want you there. If the honors program is not the place where you can be most successful, we want to get you in the place where you can be successful. My goal is never to kick anybody out of the honors program. And if you have a bad semester, that doesn't mean that we kick you to the curb. That means we talk and figure out what went wrong and create a plan so that it's going to work out more effectively the next semester and moving forward. There are, of course, scholarship requirements that exist, and they're important. But my goal is to help you move toward graduation in a way that's going to prepare you for your future successfully.
I would concur with that. The scholarship itself is awarded at the time of admission. If you have that 3.8 GPA, we'll add it on top of whatever your academic scholarship offer is from the Office of Admissions. The first year scholarships, all first year scholarships are good and renewable for up to 5 years total. So as long as you continue to enroll full time, maintain that 3.0 GPA, and continue to complete the honors curriculum at a satisfactory pace, you'll continue to receive the honors scholarship each year. There's no additional applications. You don't need to reapply for it. And Dr. McFall explained if you have a bad semester and maybe you dip below that 3.0, our financial aid office does have a process where you can be placed on like warning or probation for a semester and you have some time to get it back up. So often those things being taken away are not an immediate action. So this is definitely, Newman is definitely a smaller school. If you haven't been on campus yet and really felt it, we're a smaller school. I had the privilege of going to school at Newman. People like Dr. McFall and my other professors knew what I was good at, what I wasn't good at, held me accountable, asked to meet with me, were very available, and knew me really well. So this is a place where it is okay to say, hey, I'm struggling, and someone will get you in contact with the right resources to make sure that you're successful and you can turn it around. Do you guys want to talk a little bit, maybe you too, Joe? I don't know what you have going on outside of school, like extracurriculars, clubs, a job. One of our questions had a lot to do with like the workload, but also all the other things you have going on. And are you still able to do the other things that you're passionate about? I don't know that we have any athletes on today's call, but that has also been a common question in the past. Like, can I do collegiate athletics and do the honors program? So how do you balance all of those things? And do students in honors also involve themselves in other things like volunteerism, outside jobs, athletics?
Yeah, that is a good question. And it's something that I definitely have to work at, is that time management skill. So I currently work as, like I said, the honors intern position. I also work as a microbiology TA, and then also a flight planning TA on campus. Then I'm also part of a couple of clubs. I think I'm president DEI. I think co-president of STEM Club. So I stay busy. And then I also have to get volunteer hours for my scholarships. So there's a lot on my plate, I guess, on top of my science classes. But really, it's all about time management. It's something that I think you learn pretty quickly. And even if you feel like you might not be great at it right now, there's so much help here at Newman. We even have a academic interventionist here at Newman that can help with that. Tutors that even are available to just talk to you about time management. And McFall and us as honors interns are happy to help you accommodate to that workload as a freshman.
And I'll just pitch in on athletes. About a third, maybe a little bit more of our higher percentage of our students in the honors program are student athletes. We have people from almost every team on campus every year, and they graduate at basically the same rate as anybody else. College athletics is a lot of work. You know that if you're thinking about it. And we want to make that possible for you. As long as, if you want to do both, we want to make sure you can do both and you can get the advantages and experiences of both.
I know as we were going through the slideshow, we touched on study abroad. What kind of things are available that honor students regularly participate in here at Newman as far as travel?
So you can do what I think people often think of as a traditional study abroad experience, which is to say you can do a semester or a year abroad. Many of our students do that in England because we have an arrangement with Newman coincidentally named Newman University in Birmingham, England, which allows us to do all of the bureaucracy here and administration here, so that all you have to do, and you pay tuition here, so all you have to do is buy a plane ticket and show up and be in college in Birmingham. But I've sent people to different places. I've sent people to Beirut and Shanghai and to Australia. So that is definitely possible. And if that's something you're interested in, we can work to make that possible. I will say most students at Newman do their international travel if they do it through shorter term trips. And so just to give you a couple of examples, the Spanish professor, Professor Bontrager, takes what I'm sure is a wonderful trip to Guatemala every 2 years, and the students stay with host families and they work on their Spanish fluency. They do service, they get acquainted with the history and the culture of Guatemala. They tell me it is a life-changing experience. I'm using those kind of words because I am always invited and I always have to say no because I'm taking students to Europe while they're in Guatemala. And that trip starts in Vienna because I lived there and I can find my way around no matter how jet lagged I am. And it ends in London because it's the best city in the world. And then we hopscotch in between. And I have lots of goals for that trip, but one of my goals is that 5 years after we're back, I will open up social media and I will see that you are traveling somewhere I want to be, and I will be momentarily jealous because you're somewhere cool and I'm not. And my job on the Europe trip, in part, is to teach you the skills that you will need to be a lifelong traveler. Those are two examples. We do other trips. They vary from year to year. But that's what a lot of honor students do. It's not a requirement. And we also have, and Joe is a good example, we have people who travel in the United States, whether that's just for a weekend to a conference or a week to, oh, I don't know, AJ went to Mammoth on a credit bearing, she got credit for a class in Mammoth Caves in Kentucky, or whether that's for a longer trip. But we want you to discover other places in yourself. And so to the extent that we can help you travel, we want to do that. And you can, in fact, apply for a travel grant from the honors program to support some of those travels.
So you asked Joe about one of his favorite classroom experiences. What's one of yours?
Ooh, one of mine. So I also like the games courses, but Joe already talked about those. So maybe I'll just say one of the classes that people can take, not everybody does this, but one of the classes that is offered as a kind of a capstone class is a class called Contemporary American Social Issues. That's the technical title. The subtitle is Read enough books and watch enough movies that you can always drop a title and sound educated in a job interview. And that's a class where we read books and watch movies and TV shows that are done in the last 5 years because we want to think about what it means to be living in the United States in this period. And so we have these fascinating talks about what's going on in the world. And about perspectives that we maybe weren't aware of. And we share our own experiences. And it's a class that works because we know each other and we trust each other. So we dare say things that maybe not everybody agrees with. And we end up, or at least I shouldn't say that, I end up having learned this enormous amount from the students about their experiences in their lives and what it should mean for me as I look into the future. And maybe the last way I will illustrate that is to say most of those class periods, not all, but many of them, did not end when the class was supposed to end. It ended 3 or 4 or 5 minutes afterwards because we were all busy talking and nobody noticed that the class was done.
That's how you know it's good.
Uh-huh. And that's
Um,
when you know that you are learning, when you are all engaged in a discussion and is everybody's processing and prompting and questioning, and that when that kind of environment happens, that's when you're getting the most value for your education you can get.
I know I was not an honor student at my time and during my time at Newman, but it was also a fairly new program while I
Yes.
was there.
Mhm.
But I did get a guest spot in an honors course that was co-taught by you and Dr. Dietrich from the English program called The American Dream, in which
Yeah.
you read a crazy number of books, like
Mhm.
multiple per week.
Mhm.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't really keep up with that one, but I will never look at Superman the same. And every time I see a Superman show or movie or something else, because we read that book about
Yeah.
Superman and the creators of Superman and where they were coming from, like every time I see Superman, I think of that class. It was a good class. Um,
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions for you guys, and I don't have anything in the chat, although I have prompted these two ladies to send me all of their deep,
Mhm.
desirous questions. But I will say this, most everybody on the call has already been admitted into the honors program and received a scholarship. In order to confirm your offer of admission into the honors program and scholarship, you have to have one, interacted with the honors program in some way. So this virtual info session counts as that. So you can tick that off your list. And the other one is if you decide that this is where you want to be, at Newman University, you do need to pay your non-refundable enrollment deposit by May 1st. So you've got some time. But meeting with honors and paying your deposit are our way of knowing that this is what you want to do. Now, you've interacted with honors. If you digest all of this information and you decide maybe it isn't the right fit, just let us know. But we would love to have you in the honors program. We do have a student on tonight that has been awarded the Pathmaker Scholarship, which is our scholarship for the 3-year bachelor's degree. Currently, the honors scholarship is not stackable with Pathmaker, but we would still very much love to have you in the Pathmaker program. And Dr. McFall can work with you to kind of condense that 4-year degree plan into 3, I think. Do you want to talk a little bit about Pathmaker and how that might be possible with honors?
So
Still kind of new.
So I can do that with the caveat that you should also talk to the one of the faculty advisors about Pathmaker. But Pathmaker is intended to give you a more hands-on education and to do so in a way that reduces the time you'll actually spend at Newman and offers you opportunities to explore your education outside of campus, right? And so students who do Pathmaker might design their own major in conjunction with an advisor or might take a traditional major. But what they do is they spend summers working in the community, establishing or accomplishing many of the goals of the general education program through active, what we call project-based learning. So you might be with a nonprofit, or you might be with a business, or you might be doing leadership things, or there's lots of ways to do this. And that's the point. You work with your advisor to design the experience that is right for you. So you do have summer obligations. It is a really cool experience, and it can easily dovetail with honors. And if that's what you would like to do, we want to make that possible.
Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and call it out. We only have 2 students on tonight's meeting. I think it's Misha. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Thank you for joining us from Wyoming. I can't tell
Yes.
you the last time I had a student from Wyoming, but super excited to have you on here. If you're able to visit campus, we would highly encourage it. If you're not able to visit campus, you are welcome, and I'll put it in the chat to email the Office of Admissions to request a virtual visit date. And typically a virtual visit includes meeting with admissions, but also spending some time meeting with faculty in your desired area of study. So we'd be happy to set that up for you. If you have a chance to come to campus, we'd also love to have you for that. We have a couple of accepted student days if you don't get around to it until later. The last Saturday in March and the last Saturday in April, we have 2 accepted student days. So you're already admitted, you can come. For some people, it's taking a second and making a second look and making a final decision about Newman. For others, it's their first visit to campus, and that's okay too. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that both of you may be at or over 3.9 GPA, which means you can also opt to apply for our full tuition St. Newman scholarship, and that application is now open on that scholarship site page of our website. So go and check that out. I can put that in the chat as well. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining us today. If you have any other questions, you're welcome to reach out to admissions. You can text back. I know you texted and confirmed that you were coming tonight. That goes to me. So if you have any further questions, you're welcome to reach out. Dr. McFall is going to be doing some open text chats throughout the year. So keep an eye out for those. He'll just be texting from like 3:30 to 5 after school time frame. Might be a little different in Wyoming, but to see if you guys have any questions, so you just have that direct line to him. If you want to get connected with another athlete in the honors program or somebody in your major in the honors program, Dr. McFall can get you connected with a current student, and you guys can call, text, email, whatever. So you can ask them about their experiences. You know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Joe, Kelly, do you guys have any final remarks before we end our meeting tonight?
I'll let you go first, Joe, if you have something.
No, just that reach out if you have questions. Everybody here is more than happy to give you the information you need to make the decision if you want to join honors.
So then I will conclude with two quick points. One is, I agree entirely with what Georgia said. Reach out and get to know people. If texting is the right way to do that, if stopping by, this is obviously easier for Amy, but stop by and see a class. But we want this to be the right fit for you. So any way we can help you decide that it's the right fit for you, we want to be able to do that. And the second thing is, we've not gone public with this yet. I'm still not entirely sure this is the right combination of words. We keep playing around with taglines, and the tagline we're currently thinking about is be seen, be transformed, be honors. I want to just say just a tiny bit about that word transformed, because that's what we want for you, right? And people hear transformed and they often think that we want you to be somebody you're not. That's not what we mean by that, right? What our goal for you is that we will help you become the best you can be, right? Whatever gifts and talents and passions you have, we want to help you practice them and hone them and prepare to be a person who makes the world a better place, right? That's our goal for you. That's our goal for all of our students. That's the kind of program we want to be. And if that's the kind of program that makes sense for you, we would love to have you with us.
We appreciate you all being here tonight. If you have any other questions, please reach out. I did put in the chat the link to the info page and application for our full tuition St. Newman scholarship. So check it out, see if you qualify. If you do, definitely apply. Dr. McFall is on the interview committee for that, so you might see him again. But you guys have a great rest of your night, and we hope to see you on campus soon.
Thanks, Shaw.